Hey, what's happening, guys? Will Ripley here, coming in live. It's a Wednesday. We're hanging out. And I was supposed to go live right at 7:30. Hey, what's up, Darlene? Good to see you right on the call. So it seems to be working. We seem to be live. But yeah, I was just trying to do this thing with YouTube, so that you guys can get notified when we're going live, which is maybe helpful. Anyways, YouTube just doesn't seem to make it super, super easy. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in. And so what's up out there, guys? Do you have a guitar in your lap? I'm curious to know. And so, yeah, so we're going to get into an acoustic guitar lesson today. And I want to show you these cool walk down style chords that you hear in songs like Wonderwall and some classic songs like that. But also you hear this in like Yesterday by the Beatles. You also hear this in Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, and so on and so forth. So there's quite a bit to dig into today. So let's just get the conversation rolling. Just let me know who's out there, where you're at in the world, what kind of guitar you're playing here today, what songs you're working on, what's going on in guitar land, because obviously that's why we're hanging out. I got my Git fiddle here sitting in my lap. I'm all tuned up, ready to go. I'm just streaming from computer over here, computer right here, phone over here. So I'm just trying to get everybody involved, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on the Beginner Guitar Players on Facebook page, or if you're on the Campfire Guitar Star YouTube channel, or what have you. Just figured, hey, if I'm doing these live streams, I may as well stream to 3 cameras at once. I don't know. Man, I'm just trying to figure things out, just like everybody else out there, just like any man just trying to put his pants on in the morning. The only difference is that I teach guitar lessons. All right. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So we need to, and I just don't know why this YouTube thing isn't as easy as it should be. So I got to go like this. So I see you guys join in, but I think there's still people waiting on the other page, which is so frustrating. And I'm doing my best here, honestly. Okay, so so here it is. There's the live lesson, guys. Okay, so I see Brian and Keith were on the other call. So anyways, I can't quite figure this out, and Mike couldn't figure it out last week either. We can go live, we can start a new live stream, but I can't seem to start the one that I scheduled in advance. I just can't figure it out. I cannot press the go live button. Anyway, so I'm sorry if that was frustrating for you guys. And yeah, I guess I must be getting old or something, man. I must be getting old. Technology is becoming frustrating. So anyways, I see John Smith and Anthony Moon on the call, and of course, Darlene. And so Anthony's at work. You might have to tell him that he's sick. And John's got a custom built 62 style Strat. Epic, man. What color do you got, John? I'm curious. And maybe your internet is lagging. I am plugged in via Ethernet cable. It should be snippy fast, man. But hopefully, and hey, if you're experiencing that, try just closing down any other tab, window, or program that uses the internet. Okay, so even like extra tabs in your browser, shut those down. Shut down any other browsers running. I even closed down Spotify running in the background. Just anything, all that stuff. Just trims up the bandwidth and makes your internet speed faster. Yeah, so Darlene was on the other page waiting, and then got notified to come over here. So. Man, I don't know. I don't quite know how to fix that. We're working on it. Anyways, I'm sorry for the frustration, guys. Hopefully that was somewhat streamlined. But yeah, I do see, I opened up the other page myself. Live acoustic guitar lesson, the Wonderwall chords, And then, yeah, I saw a couple people waiting over there, and it still says 5 waiting. Oh, man. And I had no idea how to start that live stream. So frustrating. Anyway, so I've dropped it in the chat over there to those guys to let them know that we're over here now. So if you're hanging out with me, obviously you're in the right spot. So anyways, guys, what we're going to get into today is what I call the Wonderwall chords, okay? So, of course, there's that very famous acoustic guitar song by the very famous band Oasis, and the song is Wonderwall. However, I just call them the Wonderwall chords, okay? And so if you've ever heard this sound, okay, in any kind of music, right? Or okay, there's something about that that sounds very musical, right? There's just something about that that sounds poppy, that sounds acoustic-y, that sounds musical-y, you know? So, and then it also, like, it works in every key. That's just, excuse me, in the key of G major. But also we can do that in another key. Okay, so do you know what I mean? Do you know how, like, what is it? Does that remind you of anything? Does that sound like something in particular? Do drop it in the comments. I'm curious to know, because I can't even really think of a song right off the top of my head that utilizes that shape. But however, Wonderwall does. And but also songs like Yesterday by the Beatles use a very similar movement to this. And also, and yeah, you just see these chords all over so many songs, like Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here," you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, if you just think about Pink Floyd spanning to Oasis, I mean, that's covering like 40 years of rock and roll, you know, and acoustic guitar playing. So, you know what I mean? These chords are kind of important when it comes to acoustic. So if that interests you, if you want to learn these chords, if you want to learn some of the theory behind it and how to apply it and how to play some cool songs, then stick around, dude. Let's hang out here for the next, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes and just get into just start digging into some acoustic guitar stuff. Okay, Keith Rather, good to see you, man. Good to see you. I saw that you were over on the other call. I'm glad that you found this call. Keith is another one of our one-on-one students, and so is Darlene. They take one-on-one webcam lessons with Mike B every single week. So good to have you guys on the call. And if you haven't dropped a note yet, make sure to drop in a comment. Just let me know that you're here, that, I don't know, say something about guitar, you know? And sometimes people have funny names. And last week I made it a rule that, like, anybody with like a funny YouTube name, they had to tell me their first name. So anyways, we'll see what happens. All right, so John is playing his custom-built 62 style Strat in black. And I'm a bit of a Strat fiend, man. I'm always looking at Strats. I'm actually looking at this 1974 Fender Strat right now, and it's so tempting to buy, just so killer. But yeah, I love Strats, man. Awesome. Brian's chilling with us. And yeah, so all right. So let's just talk about kind of this movement that you can get going on. The very first thing that you can do is put your third and fourth fingers, okay, up on the B string and E string. Okay, so just get those two strings locked and loaded, okay? So with those guys engaged, you can actually move these two fingers around an enormous array of songs, okay? And one of the greatest couple chords that you can stick together that really sound musical and nice is a G major chord, just like this, okay? And as you can see, I've still got that third and fourth finger up top, and I'm just adding on my second and first finger down below, okay? So, and then you just strum all 6 strings, right? And now what's beautiful about this is if you just move your second finger and your first finger down, okay, you've got your C add 9, okay? So that's really just a C major chord. That's all you really have to know, but technically it's called a C add 9, C major chord with an added ninth. But when you start strumming back and forth between these, all my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. Sing along if you know the words, 'cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. Okay? So my point is, there's just an example of a very classic, famous song. Of course, maybe I should be like, name that tune. Drop it in the comments if you know it. And of course, you probably do already know it. It's John Denver's "Leaving on a Jet Plane." And maybe the most famous version of that song was actually by Peter, Paul, and Mary within the a few years of the John Denver release. But anyway, so my point is, guys, is like, this is a really nice little chord change to get going on, And so that, on the very beginner level, are two very nice chords, very musical chords. And I'm sure I just showed you a very classic, famous song that you can stick together with these two chords. But on the other end of the spectrum, you can also do something like this. And of course, there's AC/DC's "You Shook Me All Night Long," like much more of basically a hard rock song, classic rock song, whatever you want to call it. So there's a couple of songs that utilize that G to C change. And yeah, AC/DC didn't necessarily play it exactly like this. However, I'm sure you can hear that it's pretty darn close, So of course, that's just all coming down to rhythm and the strumming hand and things like that. But yeah, so there's some ideas there. But also we can kind of expand on this and play all kinds of other chords. Like, check this out. So maybe your E minor chord, okay? And of course, that's my two piece cymbal fingers just on the A string and the D string. Okay? And hey, you can go like this. It kind of sounds like a Clint Eastwood film, Okay? So we got something like that. Now, but if we go back to that concept of having a third and fourth finger loaded up and stuck together on this top part, those are our anchor fingers, okay? Meaning, like, if you imagine a ship out at sea, they throw the anchor overboard and it locks the big ship in place through the rocky sea waters, So the rocky sea waters in this case is playing guitar, but we've got this anchor going on, these anchor fingers to help navigate the dark, misty, scary waters, okay? So we've got this G major C add 9, okay? Try dropping in that E minor 7, okay? Because as we said, we've got an E minor chord here, but when you add on your third and fourth fingers, it's this very beautiful E minor 7 sound, okay? Just mess around with those three chords for a second, and it just pretty much sounds like a ton of 90s-esque pop. And this is why I call these the Wonderwall chords, okay? Because of course, if we get into Wonderwall, we got something that sounds like this. So we'll dive into that a little bit more, but well, like I said, this is kind of like the key to so much acoustic pop, and also like was mentioning earlier, the Beatles and Pink Floyd would also play these chords as well. So, but yes, so this is cool. Thomas just writes in. He says, "First time I found you. I am super beginner, hoping this gets me going. Bought a $100 Sam Ash guitar, getting calluses on the fingers. No rhythm yet, but I am still trying." Wicked, buddy. Well, hey, man, welcome to the Campfire Guitar Star community, bro. We're happy to have you. And, if you haven't signed up for the free course and gotten the 5-minute guitar book yet, this is, definitely right up your alley. This is exactly why I wrote this 160-page book and made the 4-hour video course that goes along with it and providing it totally for free for people just like you. Okay. And also, the 5-minute guitar book is just really great resource. Hey, here's tips on buying a guitar for a beginner. So it's like, it's chock full of all kinds of like chords, learning classic tunes. Here's Paradise City. Okay. Strum patterns and, all that good stuff. Anyways, you can find out about this. Who here has the book? I'm curious to know. Or who has worked their way through the 5-minute guitar system at all? I'm wondering. Yeah, sorry to hear that, John. The only thing I could say now is you got to get closer to your router. Okay, you might be too far away from your router. Cheers, Darlene. Darlene says the book and the videos are great. I started with it. Awesome. And yeah, Darlene switched over to our one-on-one lessons that we're doing on webcam. So, anyways, so are you guys kind of seeing the power in these chords? Okay. Now, the big one that I want to talk about, and this one like theoretically kind of gets a little bit more complex, is the D chord. Okay, no, that's not really that theoretically complex. This is a very basic chord, and if you don't know it, you should know it. But here's what it looks like, and make sure you're strumming that from the open D string, because after all, it is a D chord. However, it does actually sound really good when you strum a D chord from the A string. Just kind of like girths it up a little bit, just like just puffs it up, makes it nice and powerful sounding. KJ Chicago, this is an easy chord to play. Awesome, buddy. Good to hear you. And I want to say that your name's John. I have to remember from 2 weeks ago. I remember your username, but let me know if you're John. I think that's your name. Anyways, so D chord, very, very important. Now, this note right here, I want to ask you guys, what is this note? It's the 2nd fret of the E string. So what note is that? Does anybody know? Drop it in the comments right meow. Okay, so 2nd fret of the E string. So it's not an E note because it's E string is the open string. So then there's going to be the 1st fret, and I'm asking for the 2nd fret note. Does anybody know what note that is? Okay, and so what I'm getting at is that note. Thomas, you're close. It's not F though. Okay, this is F. Okay, so if this is F, Darlene Crosby for the win. Hey, that's what happens when you take one-on-one lessons. Good work, Darlene. Yeah, and Ken Days has got it too. F sharp. You guys are absolutely right. So, or F hashtag, as the kids are saying these days, right? Okay, so actually, I'm pretty sure the kids are not saying that, but it would be awesome if they did. Anyways, so we've got 2nd fret, and yeah, sure enough, that's F sharp. Okay, so what I'm getting at here, guys, is that there's an F sharp note in your D major chord. You see that? There it is, right? Now check this out. Here's a really great sounding chord. If you wrap your thumb up and around and you hit the 2nd fret of the low E string, okay, so now here's my second question. What's the 2nd fret of the low E string if the 2nd fret of the high E string is F sharp? What is the 2nd fret of the low E string? Trick question, okay? Because of course it is F sharp as well, right? So Excuse me while I have some fun with you guys. You know, it's kind of weird, like being in a room, you know, all alone, streaming live to strangers from all around the world. Oh, see some G's, G flats. Yeah, G flat is correct. You're right. So G flat is F sharp. Okay. Appreciate the comments coming in there, guys. Yeah, so we've got F sharp and F sharp. Okay. So we can reach our thumb up and around to actually play that F sharp note. And if you can really get this going on, you know, you really want to get the palm in the back of the neck. Okay. So when my palm is in the back of the neck, look how long my fingers are. I got length there, right? I got like places to put these. Okay. If you're trying to do something like this, like when your palm is not touching the back of the neck, your fingers get short. Okay. So get that palm in the back of the neck. Okay. And then sure enough, and yeah, it doesn't have to be all the way in, but you know what I mean? Like you'll just like, the closer your palm gets to the neck, the longer your fingers will be and the easier this reach will be with your thumb. No worries if playing chords with your thumb is super, super complex. But this is actually the chord that they play in Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Okay, so it'd be something like, oh, shizzle. Okay, so the very first two chords in Wish You Were Here. Okay, so sure enough, it's a D major chord, and a lot of people will just stop there. However, if you listen really, really close, you can hear that he actually wraps his thumb up and around and hit that low bass note. Okay, and so what I'm getting at here, guys, is we can also think about this D major chord as a D sus. Have you guys ever played, you know, these chords where you add on your pinky finger to the D major? What does that sound like? That's isn't that kind of like that Queen song? Anyways, it's like a ton of songs, right? Is my point. So this chord is also, you know, and what I always think about, and we have a really popular YouTube lesson on this, which is Tom Petty's Free Fallin'. Okay, so anyways, my point is, guys, if you've been sticking with me here for the last few minutes, you'll know that with the third and fourth finger, we've been talking about that. Okay, so if we get back to this concept of G to the C add 9, right, moving this around, so we've got those anchor fingers, remember that? And then we've got our E minor 7, which we talked about. Okay, and now what we got going on is this D major. That works really great there. We could also just keep it going on a D sus. That doesn't sound bad at all either. So you know, however, what sounds really good, and getting back to this concept of the Wonderwall chords, is to actually play your D major like this. Okay, so this is a D sus chord. Okay, so if you gear that up, just like we were just playing a second ago, replace your second finger with where your first finger was. I haven't actually technically changed anything about the chord, just the fingerings, right? So see if you can line that up. Now I've got this free first finger, which I'm gonna bring over to that low F sharp note, okay? And a minute ago, we were playing it with our thumb, remember that? So, now this sounds like kind of a dissonant chord, okay? But it technically, well, not technically, but like in a placement, in a musical context, it will have the same effect and the same use as this chord that we were just talking about, okay? So this would technically be the right way to play it. It's a D major chord with an F sharp in the bass. I still see some comments coming in, people talking about G's or F's. So guys, this is the second fret of the low E string and the high E string, very much so an F sharp note, okay? So there's your technically this is the right application. So when we're talking about the chord change from G major to E minor 7, and we're looking for this transitionary awesome chord, we can go like this. Super musical, right? And this is why I want to show this to you, okay? Because this is the beautiful transitionary strum to so many pop songs, okay? And we can even make that more simple by, instead of doing this chord with our thumb, which I realize that's basically an advanced chording technique, okay? Let me know if you're getting it. I'm curious to know. And also let me know if you're not getting it, because I will not be surprised if you're not getting it, okay? It's just that I just kind of want to show you the theory and the correct kind of theoretical use of it and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure you can hear it with your ear that when I play that, there's something very musical about that change. And that's what's going on, is we're grabbing a D major chord, but dropping a separate note into the bass, which is the F sharp of a D major chord, which is the major third of that chord, okay? So anyways, I don't mean to overcomplicate it. It's just mostly I want you to access the sound and get the shape under your fingers, you know? And then the next thing is going from doing that exact same thing, but just instead of using the thumb chord, this is really the shape that you want to get, okay? So we've got first finger on that F sharp, the second fret of the low E string, right? And then your second finger on the G string second fret, okay? But our third and fourth finger is still anchored in that same position, okay? Okay? And again, this is, I haven't even really alluded to this yet. Well, I kind of alluded to it, talking about how these are the Wonderwall chords. However, I have not told you where that happens in Wonderwall. And let me see if I can pick up with where it is. It's like, dining. There are many things that I like to say to you, but I don't know how. Okay? You guys know that part of the song? That I'd like to say to you, but I don't know how. There it is, my friends, okay? Okay, and it also sounds really great in the reverse order too. E minor 7 to the D sus over F sharp. I know it's a mouthful, but it's basically D over F sharp. Yeah, Darlene, that's it. I love how our one-on-one webcam student, Darlene, is just like nailing the right answers. That's awesome. That's great that you know that. Because yeah, like I said, it is a mouthful. That's wicked. Really good work, Darlene. Really good. Okay, so KJ Chicago 1 is Keith Jackson, of course, from Chicago. Okay, Keith Jackson. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Still trying to learn that blues turnaround chord. Oh, yeah, is that the... Is that one? I'm wondering, because we did quite a few... Yes, because yeah, we're going like... oh, yeah, we were probably going... Probably something like that, right? And that's kind of the turnaround to Killing Floor by Howlin' Wolf. And the whole riff has actually... So when it comes back to the turnaround, kind of like lines right up with that. But I think maybe that's the one you're talking about. Let me know They're Keith Jackson from Chicago. Yeah, so Darlene's practiced that chord many times. Nice, John. Good to hear. Yeah, sometimes just those little tweaks, man, really help to get the internet speeding up. So, guys, is this making sense? Were you guys able to play this crazy D sus over F sharp? Of course, Darlene can because she's been practicing it and she's a superstar, working with Mike every week. So that's kind of the big bulk of what it is that I wanted to show you today. And we can actually apply this to a really simple song, which is Zombie by the Cranberries. Okay, and this one starts on E minor 7. So go ahead and gear that one up for yourself. Okay. We go to the C add 9, to the G major, to the D sus over F sharp. Okay, or you can just call it D over F sharp. Okay, and so what we do here is we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's in your head? Zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey. What's in your head? All know this one, right? Zombie, zombie, zombie. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, oh, oh. And sure enough, there's that G to D over F sharp to E minor, right? So it's pretty awesome. But really the big thing that I wanted to get across to you guys today is getting these anchor fingers down, okay? And you can actually play a lot of songs. Okay, we talked about this D sus. Okay, here's another one that you see in Wonderwall. This is an A sus chord. Okay, so this is with my first finger on the D string. Okay. So that's the 4-chord intro to Wonderwall right there, which is starts on E minor 7, just like Zombie, to G major, okay, to D sus, to A sus. I guess that's actually an A sus 7. And then back, okay? So why don't we just try that? We'll do something like, and yeah, it's not quite the right strumming pattern, but it'll at least get your left hand working. C add 9, D sus, E minor, right? So just all over the song. C add 9, just D sus. That I'd like to say to you. There's that chord progression we talked about. G to D over F sharp to E minor to D. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my Wonderwall. So I'm sure you and yeah, of course, there's different parts to the songs, and you got to kind of figure out, the progression of these things. Do let me know, guys. I was thinking about maybe doing a Wonderwall lesson, like tackling that. Is that interesting to you guys at all, or is that just overdone? And are people over that song? Is that just like, I don't know. It's almost like one of those acoustic guitar songs that are kind of made fun of because, you know, everybody wants to play Wonderwall on acoustic. And hey, I wanted to play Wonderwall on acoustic. It's a great song. So, okay, so guys, we're gonna switch it over to kind of general Q&A and just kind of hang out. That was what I had planned for you guys today. So let's open it up for Q&A, which is your questions and my possible answers. I might have some answers for you when it comes to guitar. And while those questions are coming in, while you're digging in your memory bank, like, I wonder if Will knows how to play, or I wonder if Will can go over that thing he just went over. So yeah, so if there's anything you want me to go over in today's lesson, then do let me know. Happy to kind of dig in a little bit deeper into any parts. And while those are coming in, yeah, so Keith says that he can't get the D sus over F sharp fast, but he can do it. So that's good. Yeah. It's just like any chord, right? It's just like being able to just stick it like simultaneously and instantly. You know, it's, you know, when all of us first start learning our chords, it's like, it's challenging, it's difficult, and it's slow, right? And then after you keep on putting your fingers into those mangled positions over and over, then before you know it, like you just saw me doing, it's just your fingers just go into these positions really quickly and instantly. So that's awesome. So yeah, and it's just going to be the same thing for the D sus over F sharp. It's quite a strange chord. Even if you know a bunch of chords already, it just kind of feels a little bit weird. But that's how I would practice it, is just kind of cycle back and forth from the G, D sus, to E minor, just because, yeah, that sounds good, right? And see if you can add some sort of strum or rhythm. And yeah, that would be just kind of a fun musical way to practice it. Cheers. Good to see Robert Cron on the call. And but yeah, I want to step back, and William asks, we can use these 3 chords for free falling, correct? So free falling would be D major, D sus 2, or sorry, D sus 4, that's a D sus 4, back to the D major, and then a D sus 2. And also Mr. Tom Petty played it capo 4, okay? So that will really get you that. Sounds a little bit dissonant without it, but yeah, if you put capo 4 and play those same shapes, so it'd be right here, then you'll get that Tom Petty kind of sound. But yeah, without capo, what do you guys think sounds better? That, or if my last chord is an A major chord? Let me know. Okay, so depending on where your ear kind of leads you, maybe you want to end that on an A major chord instead of the D sus 2. Okay, I don't know. Which one is better? This, version 1? Or version 2? Version 1? Or version 2? It actually kind of sounds nice with version 1 and then version 2, just like that. So William's going for version 2. Version 2 with the A. The A off. A wins. Look at all that. Robert says the A major adds a nice heaviness to it. And hey, speaking about that song, you get one guitar player doing this part, just power chords. And the other guy's going. So that's all good and fun. There's also another great version that a student actually taught me how to play, because we were going over parts to that, and they had learned somewhere. I can't quite remember what that was, but anyways, yeah. So there's different interpretations for it, but yeah, this is, if you know the song, there's this electric guitar comes in. It kind of sounds like a telly or something like that, that palm mutes those power chords and goes together like peanut butter and jam, my friends. All right, so A major wins, I guess. Okay, guys. Well, look at, if you haven't already, I mean, a bunch of you guys already have the 5-minute guitar book, but you can check this out over at campfireguitarstar.com. Comes with a video course, and honest to goodness, I have full plans on actually making this the video course not free anymore. I've been doing it for a long time, but I'm restructuring some things and adding some new products and some things like that. And that means that the 5-minute guitar system is only going to be available for a undisclosed amount of time. I'm not sure when I'm going to get my stuff together to actually rearrange things, but it is a limited time offer. So if you don't have that course, make sure to get it, because it is going down sometime this year. And yeah, so anyways, it's nice to see Keith and Robert and Darlene on the call today, who are one-on-one students. They're working with Mike B, who you might recognize from the YouTube channel. He produces content on here just like me. And he's actually the head of our one-on-one lesson department. So if you're ever struggling with guitar, okay, if you're ever having a hard time with some things, and you feel like you could really use the hand of a pro, like sitting down with a pro, well, you can actually do that right over at campfireguitarstar.com/one-on-one webcam. And I have a link over that on the products and services tab on our website, campfireguitarstar.com. So yeah, so definitely consider that. There's nothing that really beats sitting down with a pro player and, busting through some bad habits and just, making those fast-paced advancements, way faster than you could ever do on your own or with YouTube, right? So that's a big part of what we do here. And honestly, I do believe it is the best way to learn guitar. Yes, it's the most expensive, unfortunately, but when you're sitting down one-on-one with a pro Berkeley trained instructor, I mean, that's just what happens. You gotta invest in yourself in that way. But the results, and I'm sure that Keith and Darlene and Robert will all tell you that one-on-one lessons are worth it, and they've been getting some of those advancements themselves. So anyways, which was cool to see Darlene like just killing it on the answers here. Nailed the F sharp, talking about the D sus2/F sharp. Very, very good. Very good to see the one-on-one students killing it that way. All right, guys. So I'm going to shut it down for now. And until next time, until the next video, keep on ripping it up. Stick around, because we're actually going to be releasing a new another acoustic guitar lesson this week. So if you're not on the mailing list, head over to campfireguitarstar.com. Anywhere you enter in your email address will get you hooked up on the mailing list, so you don't miss any future lessons coming out in the future. And also next week, I'm putting together Acoustic Guitar Star, which is our proprietary acoustic guitar system. Okay, it's a really great course. Actually goes together with 5-minute guitar. I think that those two courses actually like bridge together the most flawlessly. And yeah, so anyways, so there's some good stuff coming up for your guitar playing, and I'm happy to support you guys. Yeah, Darlene says the instant feedback is great. I enjoy my lessons so much, and I've made a lot of progress. And hey, I can even tell just over on the live call, so that's super good. Cool. So William has downloaded a few of the beginner PDFs. He's been playing 3 months, still learning. Awesome, buddy. Well, like I said, man, welcome to the Campfire Guitar Star community. And yeah, so I just released an acoustic guitar guide with a PDF. It's about a lesson that's about 2 weeks old. Definitely check out that lesson. That will give you a good understanding. But also, like I said, get the 5-minute guitar book and the video course. It's all free. To get the book, it's just a little bit of shipping. So anyways, so lots of options there to get you rolling with us. All right. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks so much for tuning in. And until the next lesson, keep on ripping it up. Later, guys.